Can I borrow your whistle?
No.
Please?
50 no.
What is happening with the NFL? With the NBA, NHL, MLB seasons running smoothly, another head coach in the NFL bites the dust. Now, usually around this time of the year, NFL news is pretty quiet, right? Maybe you could expect some god-awful draft takes. The Jets take someone that doesn't know how to play football. But the only news I'm reading about is Dianna Russini. She was caught snuggling with Mike Vrabel when both of them are married. A bunch of videos and tweets of her bashing her husband. And I'm thinking to myself, whatever, I don't care. You know, American football coaches, infidelity, you know, we already know how that correlates. Just a little gossip story, right? Well, turns out it's a lot worse. Because with the news of AJ Brown signing with the Patriots, fans have gone down the trail of Russini and Vrabel's history working together, prove that this relationship has had implications on free agents and on award outcomes. People now believe that not only was she lying to her own company, to all the fans, but she was reporting on his team, voting for all of his awards, swaying free agents to join his team, all whilst allegedly lying to NFL superstar players. But if you're not caught up, 2 weeks ago, a fellow by the name of Ollie Coleman drops this news on page 6 of Mike Vrabel and top New York Times NFL reporter Dianna Russini holding hands and hug at luxury hotel. And here he is. All right, look at him. Look at his smile. Interlocking fingers at a private bungalow in Arizona. All right, there's a hug. Hand on the beer belly. Look at this shot. Oh my God. What a photo. This is like rule of thirds or something. Now, I just don't believe that these photos were taken by some random fan. I mean, this looks like a CIA hunting down like a drug kingpin. And like also, who's stalking Mike Vrabel? Dianna Russini. Who could possibly be on that case other than his wife or her husband? Because both are married. Now, the instant response from the coach of the year and the NFL reporter was deny, deny, deny. Mike Vrabel says these photos show a completely innocent interaction and any suggestion otherwise is laughable. Ha ha ha. This doesn't deserve any further response. Hey, I don't want to talk about it anymore. This doesn't deserve any. Dianna Russini says the photos don't represent the group of 6 people who were hanging out during the day. There was 6 people. The Athletic and New York Times also denied with Dianna Russini, supporting her, believing her case that there were actually 6 friends that were there. And even when the stories came out, Russini argued that the photos were a sexist attack on a female reporter in a male-dominated field. However, page 6 reports that 3 eyewitnesses said that they did not see anyone else with them at the resort. But what's most suspicious about Dianna Russini's story is that the outlet, page 6, was open to changing the tone of the story and even not running it if Russini and Vrabel could provide proof to back up their statements that they had been on a trip with friends, right? If they had text messages, hotel booking information, any calls with other friends on that day, photos, videos, something to show for. But after all this, more photos started coming out. Here they are at a bar together. Not sure why a female reporter would be hanging out with the head coach. Maybe they're just talking about AJ Brown. But the avalanche doesn't stop there, because the internet, the unemployed, decide to scour through Diana's entire history. And they found a lot of things that were...
I did things in Miami I haven't even told my husband because it's just, I had that much fun. It was, well, not like that.
I genuinely think if I heard something like this from my wife after I married her, I would probably shoot myself in the dick. Like, I think that's the best way to treat this type of pain. Then we got videos of her dragging her husband.
I'm married to someone average. I don't post a lot about him. If I was married to someone beautiful, I'd overpost too.
He would judge the kind of partying I was doing. Oh, yeah. I don't know what got into me. I just remember being down there acting like it was my last day on earth.
And there's this one where she hops on a radio show.
To talk through the situation. Diana, what's up?
What's up, guys? I told your producer that I want to be introduced now. I don't want to be insider. I don't want to be Scoop City podcast host. I just want to be MILF. Just straight up MILF. That's what I'm going for.
What the hell?
That's my reaction. To me, the worst clip of them all, though, revolves around my boy, Jimbo. Jimmy G, a.k.a. porn star Jimmy. For some reason, the day before Dianna Russini's wedding, she was hanging out with Jimmy Garoppolo.
And so the night before my wedding, I remember Jimmy was great. He made like a funny joke like, hey, it's the night before your wedding. You sure you want to do this? And I'm thinking like, of all the people in my life that I'm going to talk to the night before my wedding, the one guy my dad wanted me to, or my mom wanted me to marry was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Matter of fact, there's even old interview clips with Mike Vrabel that don't look right.
Can I borrow your whistle?
No.
Please?
50 seconds. No. 50
I just, for every time a new question.
No one wants to see
that
this
actually
thing.
is kind of bad.
Can I borrow your whistle? Let me blow your whistle, baby, let me... Now, Diana tried to work through the storm, okay? Tried to nothing happen. I'm gonna keep going, not address it. Tactic by tweeting, and, yeah, it just didn't work. People are just on her ass about it, all right? Just a bad look, especially being one of the top female reporters in football. But what's really interesting is when this news broke out, there wasn't a lot of coverage besides Twitter trolls doing their thing. Here's a perfect example of Chris Sims and Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk.
The NFL. I mean, you know, I wouldn't... I'd shoot you straight. These are things that I've been texting with about my friend, with my friends in the coaching world. Even their wives are involved in the conversation
Stay on
as
target.
well.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't-
Stay on target. Stay on target. Stay on target. It's kind of strange, but at the end of all this, Diana Russini resigns. She quits, which, once again, is kind of a strange move. I feel like if she felt like she was truly innocent despite interlocking fingers with Mike Vrabel, couldn't she just have shown her phone with the group texts of those 6 people that were there on the trip, or her messages with Vrabel prove that she's innocent? Well, we just got Mike Vrabel's response, too. He said he's had some difficult conversations with people he cares about, with his family, the organization, the coaches, the players. What's difficult? I thought it was laughable. Ha ha ha. The tone that he's speaking in, it sounds kind of suspicious. Now, the NFL has no public ethics code governing relationships between coaches and reporters, okay? So Vrabel, he doesn't have any suspension coming or any trouble. Again, I'm not making any allegations. All of this is alleged. But at this point in the story, you're probably like, all right, man, we get it. Football head coach cheats on his wife, right? Like, we get it. But other than this being terrible for women reporters in this space, what other implications does this have? Well, first and foremost, we have to take a look at her history of reporting. If you look at Diana Russini and Vrabel's working relationship, it goes all the way back to 2018 when she became the boots on the ground in Nashville for a good chunk of Vrabel's 6 seasons with the team. And I specifically remember thinking that it was really weird that Diana Russini was one of the only reporters that was on the Julio Jones case back when Julio Jones was leaving Atlanta. May 27, 2021. I was told this is a long shot for the Titans to land Jones, but she puts the report that there are rumors. 2 weeks later, she's the first to report the Falcons are expected to trade Julio Jones to the Titans, which is pretty insignificant until you realize that there's a bit of a pattern here. About a month ago, the Patriots and the Rams are making strong pushes to land Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown, the same player that Diana Russini suggested that he's agitated. The Eagles know it, the league knows it, but for now, Philadelphia wants him on its roster, basically making the case that it's inevitable that A.J. Brown is going to leave the Eagles. Now, all of a sudden, after this Russini news comes out, Adam Schefter reports that he's likely to be a Patriot. And while all this reporting may be true, it's the fact that now you have these photos of the two interlocking their fingers, hugging each other, sitting by the pool. It can mislead NFL fans into believing that putting these rumors of a disgruntled player like A.J. Brown, a superstar wide receiver, for your work side piece, right? The credibility is just out the window. Again, not saying there's any wrongdoing in her reporting. She could very well have just heard the story and reported it in a legitimate way. But now, with this story out, there leaves room for doubt. Then we jump to Max Crosby. Obviously, we know about the failed trade to Baltimore. Even before that, Diana Russini made this report.
Max Crosby doesn't seem too happy in Las Vegas. Is he gonna ask for one officially and ask out? Is that a guy? I can tell you, I know he wants to play for Mike Vrabel. He's told me before.
Because this is too far. Max Crosby, one of the premier edge rushers in the NFL, by putting it out there that you know for sure that Max Crosby wants to play for Mike Vrabel, wants to be a Patriot. There's just so many implications that come with this. One, it damages the reputation of Max Crosby with his front office, with the rest of his teammates. If you just come out and say that he wants to play for this head coach. Also, trade request leverage, right? Now that they know that the player wants to play for the Patriots can, in theory, offer less of a package for Max Crosby, knowing that it's the player's desire to play there. Now, somehow, some way, back in March 15, 2020, when Diana Russini reported that the Titans are not interested in Tom Brady, they're working hard to get a deal done with Ryan Tannehill. This guy read the future. Sprint 86 he somehow had the scoop. And I mean, fair enough. How does she know that they're not interested in Tom Brady? First of all, the absurdity. The Titans not interested in Tom Brady are working hard to get a deal with Ryan Tannehill. Oh my God. Comical stuff, but there's even more implications of this story. This also may have affected awards, NFL honors. Because in 2024, the AP decided to surprise its voters by revealing everyone's ballot for full transparency towards all the fans. And Diana Russini voted Lamar Jackson for MVP when Josh Allen won. I'm okay with it. You know, I thought Lamar Jackson should have won it that year too, but then, for some reason, Diana Russini comes out and says she faced private backlash over Lamar Jackson's MVP vote.
It was the first year it was revealed.
Yeah.
And I did not know that. And I was out to dinner and my phone was blowing up with people in football, very angry that I voted for people that I voted for. So that stunk. I wish I knew that. It would not have changed my vote, but I love Josh Allen and I am avoiding
not as much
him
as I do.
for a really long time. I feel like I have to apologize.
It's really strange how she feels like she has to avoid Josh Allen, how she's scared to see Josh Allen. And this fella, his name is Tony, he basically makes the allegation that maybe Diana Russini promised Josh Allen or Josh Allen's agency and Lamar Jackson and Lamar Jackson's agency that she was going to vote for them first place in the MVP voting, thinking that the ballots were going to be hidden. So now this puts voter integrity already in question as well, because how many other voters are doing this? Is this affecting past awards? So I took a look at her past ballots, and of course the reigning coach of the year was Mike Vrabel, and you could say it's well deserved. I disagree, because Kyle Shanahan finished 5th. I need to see her ballot. And obviously the biggest thing is whenever one of these stories comes out, it's a huge amount of damage on women reporters in sports, not just football, trying to climb the ladder. It damages their reputation. You know, now they're just going to be saying, oh, this girl only knows this news because she was eating the coach's ass, right? It's already hard enough for them to climb the ladder. Anytime a story like this comes out, it makes it even harder. Now other reporters being caught at this resort, all right? I don't want to make any of these videos anymore. I'll be honest, I don't really care, all right? This was just the Kyle Shanahan campaign. Let me know what you guys think about the AJ Brown situation, the Max Crosby situation. Leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.